And there was a friendly football match which took place in Anambra State to kick off the inauguration of the Awka City Stadium, which is another legacy project of the governor's administration. According to Governor Willie Obiano, the FIFA Standard Stadium, located in the heart of the city, means that international tournaments can now be hosted in Awka.
Indeed, very happy for this moment. This is the icing on the cake in all our sporting activities since 2014. When we came in here, we promised that youth development, particularly sports, should be on top of our agenda, and we pursued it vigorously. Today is the crowning moment for that, for that focus. Recall that we started at some point doing the weekly runs that we do every Saturday for people to be energetic, walk for life, they call it, and that became very great. And many states were emulating what we're doing. Beyond that, we played the soccer for all the categories. And in February, we're going to launch formally the Anambra football team, which is the Anambra Bombers, and the female football one, which is the Anambra Babes, and they will be playing in the National League. And from there, our boys, one more time, will begin to sell in the football market all over the world. So I really would like, in future, wherever I am, I'm looking at people playing this stuff, and I've been proud that I made it happen. I also want us to recognize the bands that have supported us all these years.
Oh, yes.
Let's get more on sports development, especially at the grassroots. Joining us on the program is the former chairman, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, Lagos chapter, Mr. Fred Edore. A pleasure having you with us.
It's my pleasure. Good afternoon.
Now, Fred, the question that always arises whenever a new stadium is commissioned in the country is maintenance culture. How can this be addressed?
Well, I think the first thing is when you're building a stadium, you also have to build the activities around the stadium. Most times we build stadiums and we don't have activities around them. In the cities, as it were, we need to be able to have people who can generate enough programs, enough events, that will occupy the stadium. Because when the stadium is actively in use, the tendency for it to get the tendency for the kind of decays that we have will not be there much, because, like they say, an unoccupied house is like a property for lizards. No, but when you have activities there, it means that people there will be regular cleaning, the streets will be in use, the wear and tear of sun and rain, all that. I think that in the case of Anambra, for instance, they have enough clubs. They don't have to wait for the big events. And I think that's the problem we have. The National Stadium in Lagos, the National Stadium in Abuja, it's always about waiting for the big events. And the big events seldom occur. Because if you take in the Super Eagles, for instance, probably they are going to play about 6-7 matches in a year. And how can that sustain a stadium? You need many more activities. So when you build a stadium, you have to challenge the sports authorities, the sports ministry, the commissions, the clubs, everybody. They have to get involved and give them access to the facility so that they can use it. They can pay as they use the pay for different aspects of the facilities, and that will help you generate funds for maintenance. Look at the stadium in New York, for instance. It's also seldomly in use. Once in a while, the Super Eagles go there, and after that, it's left for Aqua United. Thank God they have 2 clubs now. But go to Ibadan. The stadium there is seldom in use. If you go to Enugu, it is also seldom in use, because we are not generating enough activities. We are always waiting for the big ones. And it doesn't always have to be the big ones. So we need to challenge ourselves in the sports establishment to be able to generate enough activities and allow other people to also use the stadium. The stadium is not only for sports. The opening ceremony of the World Cup, of the Olympic Games, for instance, is almost just like a concert. It's an entertainment event. So why are we not allowing entertainers to come use the stadium? There's a way of handling the stadium when it comes to use for concert or even. So if you have the big stars coming to the stadiums, they pay more. You get more money for maintenance, and then you keep the stadium regularly in use, not just for football events.
Dora, we know that there are several facilities across the country. We know this when we see local football matches and when states host national sports festival. But are there enough in the country?
Well, in terms of, I can almost say, well, 70–80% of the states in the country have their own state stadiums. That looks like okay. Some of the big cities have stadiums. But it is not just the stadium. These stadiums are a bit, I don't want to say obsolete, but they are not standard. And many of the stadiums are not covered, for instance. And it's going to be difficult in these modern times to have anybody come to the stadium and stay 2 hours under sun and with the possibility of rain. And the issue of conveniences is also not there. The stadiums they are not really very people friendly. So if I look around the whole country, we do not have any stadium of standard that's really fans friendly, spectators friendly, where you can come with family and friends, have a good time, and you can be sure that you will not suffer too much inconvenience. We need to overhaul virtually all the stadiums in the country. But it's not just about the stadiums, the big stadiums we have in the big cities and the capitals. We're talking about sports centers for the neighborhoods, for the inner communities.
Okay, Mr. Edore.
We need to focus on that.
Thank you so much, sports analyst Mr. Edore, for sharing your thoughts with us on the program.
It's my pleasure.